If you made a Venn diagram where one circle represented the people who are obsessed with the hottest hot sauces, and the other circle was people who would swim with sharks on purpose, I think you just have one circle. That's not something I could say for many foods. But then again, not many foods make us feel pain, trigger our adrenaline response, and make us sweat like hot sauce does. Hot sauce is a feeling. So let's talk about that feeling. We can't have hot sauce without chilies, so that's where I want to start. There are so many incredible chilies to choose from. Some are sweet and fruity, others are earthy and grassy. Flavor matters a great deal when you're making hot sauce, but I know what you're all here for. The spice, the heat, the burn, the potential to watch me eat a Scotch bonnet chili. The burn we get from chilies is primarily caused by the chemical substance capsaicin. Capsaicin stimulates the TRPV1 nerves on our tongue in the same way that a really hot sip of coffee does. It masquerades as actual heat, and it tells your brain, hey, there's a really hot situation down here in the mouth. That trick is called chemesthesis, the chemical stimulation of tactile nerves. That's very cool. The capsaicin in chilies isn't all that well distributed throughout the fruit, and there's actually not that much of it in the flesh. Check out this experiment. We separated the flesh, ribs, and seeds from 40 jalapenos and sent them to an independent lab for capsaicin analysis. On average, there were 5 milligrams of capsaicin per kilo of flesh, 73 milligrams per kilo in the seeds, and 512 milligrams per kilo in the ribs. That's right, the heat in chilies is found primarily in the ribs. Now it's true that the seeds are spicy, but that's entirely by association. They sit on the white ribs and they pick up capsaicin. Let's do a lineup of commonly available chilies from mildest to hottest. That would be bell peppers, cubanelles, poblanos, Anaheims, cherries, jalapenos, Fresnos, Serranos, bird chilies, habaneros, and Scotch bonnets. Those numbers that were popping up on the screen are Scoville heat units, the reflection of the spiciness of the chili. Now the bigger the number, the bigger the burn. The Scoville scale was invented in 1912 by Wilbur Scoville. It was based on a panel of human tasters evaluating how much a given chili sample needed to be diluted with sugar water before it no longer tasted hot. A single drop of extract from a million Scoville rated chili, yeah, those exist, needed to be diluted with 1 million drops of water before it was deemed as mild as bell pepper. Pure isolated capsaicin ranks at 16 million Scoville units. Nowadays, Scoville scores are determined not by mouth, but by machine. You know, it seems like chilies get hotter and hotter every year, with growers introducing new varieties with frankly terrifying names. The Trinidad Moruga Scorpion chili clocks in at 1.2 million Scoville units. The Trinidad Scorpion Butch Tea variety clocks in at 1.46 million. The Carolina Reaper averages 1.6 million. And the Dragon's Breath chili supposedly clocks in at well over 2 million Scoville units. I'm pretty sure that even as I'm saying this, there are chilies being picked from plants that top the ones in this list. It's a spicy arms race that frankly, I'm really not that interested in. If you looked at chilies purely for their capsaicin punch, you're missing out on what makes them so amazing, their flavor. The most popular hot sauces out there forgo these massive spice bombs in favor of much more moderate chilies. That allows them to use more chilies and get more chili flavor without getting burned. And that is good practice for us home hot sauce makers as well. You can make a nice hot sauce by blending moderately spicy chilies with water, vinegar, some salt, and some sugar. Spicy, fresh, and delicious. But you can make a much more interesting one if you add a fermentation step to the process. So let's go to the kitchen and do just that. I like a hot sauce with manageable spice and loads of flavor. So I'm going with Fresno chilies for this one. As we saw in that chili lineup, Fresnos are in the middle of the pack in terms of heat. They're in the 2,500 to 10,000 Scoville range. To complement that, we're actually gonna also add some carrot, which will give us more flavor and some additional sweetness, and a little bit of garlic for good measure. Now, fermenting these vegetables couldn't be much easier, and it all starts with a simple brine of water and salt. We'll steal a little bit of this brine to make a brine-filled weight, and that will allow us to keep the vegetables submerged and away from air. You'll see what I mean. Then we just dump in our chilies, our carrots, and our garlic. We top with a little square of parchment, our brine weight, and cover the whole thing in cheesecloth. This will hang out at room temperature on the counter for 5 to 7 days until everything is savory and sour. This is lacto-fermentation at work, where salt keeps unfriendly bacteria at bay and allows lactobacillus bacteria to do its thing, creating a sour and delicious environment. Then we just puree everything until mostly smooth and then strain out the solids. Now don't throw out those solids. They're just as flavorful as the hot sauce and they make an incredible spread for sandwiches. Then we return the strained sauce to the blender and season her up with salt, sugar, and vinegar. And now you have a choice to make, xanthan or no xanthan. Xanthan gum is a powerful hydrocolloid. Its long string-like molecules tangle up into a web when they get wet. And that microscale web slows down any water that tries to flow through it. Check out this experiment. Here is plain water, and here's water with increasing concentrations of xanthan gum. You can see that with just 1% xanthan in the mix, the liquid is highly thickened. And at 4 and 8%, it's kind of snotty. Now for comparison, check out this batch of water that was thickened with 1% cornstarch. It's much thinner than the 1% xanthan. Because xanthan gum is so powerful, we can achieve the texture we want by using just a little bit. Here's our hot sauce without xanthan gum, and here it is with xanthan gum. A huge difference in texture. Cook's choice. For my batch, I'm going with xanthan gum, and I'm just gonna stream it into the blender while it's running. No heating required. Then we just bottle our hot sauce in this adorable hot sauce bottle and look around for the very first thing we can shake it on. Oh look, here's a perfectly fried sunny side up egg. That'll do. And this is how to eat hot sauce. Thanks for watching. Now before you head off for your shark dive, do me a favor. Let me know in the comments what your favorite hot sauce brand is and hit that subscribe button.